Yo, yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy Ron, and welcome to another live stream, another edition of the Young Melanated Council, which you guys can see right there. Boom. We tend to go live every other Tuesday night. Let me move this camera back because y'all all up in my nose. I ain't trying to make y'all see my boogers and all the other good stuff. There we go. All right, we in there. So typically we go live every other Tuesday night around about 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and wherever else you're in the world, you can catch us live. As always, please, please, please make sure you like, subscribe, enjoy the show. If you want to share it to your various platforms on social media, you are more than welcome to do so by all means, by any means. And and again, just kick back, relax, and enjoy. Right, right. So welcome back. Welcome back. I know Thanksgiving was last week and whatnot. So no, I hope you guys had a good time. I know me personally, I had a blast. I hung out with some family friends that I've known for like a number of years. It was just cool to hang out with them again. The last time I hung out with that small group of friends was I want to say about 4 or 5 years ago. So it's been a while. It's been a long while that we're able to hang out, and I'm just glad and fortunate and blessed enough to be able to hang out with them, call call them family, and just to have a really good time. And so we ate, we laughed, we played games, and there's a game that I played that I am going to buy personally because of the fact that bad boy is on sale. I am doing that. Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. So that's what I'm doing. That's what I've been doing. Well, that's what I did. Um, oh, duh. Virtual roundtable. Boop, 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 boop. So every Tuesday we tend to go live. We typically do a virtual check-in. So for those who are coming in, for those who are new, I'm about to type into the chat and blast it. So those who are coming in, they'll see what we're going to be talking about. How are you doing? What did you do? Thanksgiving holiday. As we get it rolling, as we get it rolling. So, again, if you're on YouTube, you're tuning in. This is right here. This is the question for you guys. Even if you're on Twitch, you're seeing this and everything else. Again, that's the question. Rocky, salute. Good evening, good evening, good evening. How are you doing? How are you doing? How are you doing tonight? Welcome in, welcome in. Again, circling back as far as the questions for tonight, just to kind of get everything going and kicked off in the right stream or in the right spectrum. Again, how are you doing? Number one. Number two, what did you do over the Thanksgiving holiday? And if y'all like me, y'all know I like to eat. I like me some food, especially the food that touches the soul, and like to have fun and anything else. And so, yeah, there we go. That's what we're doing. So while you guys are responding to the questions that are coming in, I got another good friend that just showed up into the place to be. If you know, then you know. If you know, then you know. And if you don't know, you will surely, surely will know. Uh, this person, okay, hold on. I got you. I got you, Rocky. Yes. Woo, woo. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with a fish fry. Ain't nothing wrong with a fish fry. Question is this: what kind of fish did you guys fry up? Was it catfish? Was it some tilapia? Did you get some salmon? Like, what did you cook up for Thanksgiving for this fish fry? Because that sounds fire. Sounds fire. True, true. True. So true. So true. You are absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. But yeah, no, I want to know what kind of fish you had. I want to know. While you're doing that, let me circle all the way back around. I got to introduce my my homie, my homegirl. I gotta introduce my homegirl because it wouldn't be the Melanated Council without her. And not saying that there's nothing wrong with me not being here. Not saying that at all. Not saying my other host without him being here. Not saying that at all. No, 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 no. Between the three of us, we all make the Melanated Council. But at the same time, she kind of adds a little salt to it, a little spice, if you would. Because why not? She's quick with it. She's funny. She did improv. She has her own podcast. And she is just a very cool person. Very cool person. Love her to death and had a good time meeting her. I'm hoping within the next year I'll be able to meet her again because, again, I had so much fun with her. So much fun. And I would love to do it again. Oh, fucking type. Y'all bear with me. Y'all bear with me. Y'all bear with me. Okay? Boom. Yes. 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 Absolutely correct. And nothing wrong with some Old Bay season on some fish. Nothing wrong with it. So before I read any of this stuff that's on the bottom of the screen, let me introduce to some. And even for those who don't know, I'm going to introduce you to her as well. Y'all give it up for my home girl, the one, the only, the lovely Elle. Woo, 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 woo. Maybe not. Maybe. She may be there, she may be not. Hold on. We're gonna take her back off this. We're gonna take her back. We're gonna try it again. I know something's been going on in cyberspace. So we're gonna bring her back again. We're gonna try it again. But again, y'all show her some love when she gets back on. Y'all show her some love. So we got red snapper, sand dabs. What is a sand dab? Yeah, the Spice Queen. Yeah, you about right. You about right. Hey, tell your internet it better act right. Internet, act right. But then again, it might be because of that weird governor down there. He kind of be acting on wrong. So, but still, internet act right for L. Act right for L. And so, what is sand dabs? I've never heard of sand dabs. This is like my first time hearing about sand dabs. Catfish I know about. Red snapper I know about. Sand dabs, you're going to school me on this one. You got to school me on this one. No, you good, L. Take your time. Take your time. Take your time. Because I got another person that showed up in the place to be. And if you know, then you know. And if you know, then you know. Right? So this other person that done came up, um, he is about as smooth as a criminal can get. He is as risky as any risk taker can be. He is as gutsy as Jiraiya Sensei off of Naruto. So again, if you know, then you know. And if you don't know, I'm gonna have y'all to go back and watch Naruto, right? Right. So this man is the epitome of oh, he's the epitome of smooth operator, right? He is also the epitome of Trey Songz, Mr. Steal Your Girl, but he's so polite and such a gentleman. Not only will he steal your girl, he will ask for your girl just so she could cook him a 5-course meal with dessert, give her back to you, and say, man, listen, your girl can cook. Like, you should have her to cook all these wonderful meals, and then the dessert that she gave me was fire. And no, we ain't talking about some weird stuff. No, we ain't talking about no weird stuff. But like, yeah, no, she made me a fudge brownie with like the extra chocolate drizzling and some other good stuff. Like, yes, 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 yes. And it's all cool, calm humor because that's who he is. So if you don't know who I'm talking about, allow me to reintroduce to some, allow me to introduce to others. Give it up for the one, the only, the iron stomach, Toby. Woo, 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 as he is blending in and out of the surfaces. Earth.
Yeah. Sorry, the volume on my end, I couldn't hear everything very well. So I didn't realize if you were actually doing the introduction the whole time. There was some there was a lot of background noise. In fact, I was trying to type in okay. I appreciate you though.
Yeah.
I appreciate you regardless. And everyone who's watching this stream, I appreciate you all. What a day it's been in a week.
Yes.
It's even a miracle that I got on this relatively early, but I was like, let me just come on.
There you go.
Take care of some things. Okay. I will probably have to hop out for a few minutes at some point.
No,
not immediately or anything, but I need to take some stuff out because a lot of our recycling is overflowing. It's always Tuesdays that are Wednesday mornings, and I never remember. I'll sleep, I'll wake up, and then hear the people come out, and then it's another week. And we don't have like a big kind of like dumpster sized bin that you can wheel out. We only have like the one that you can, carry, the mid-size one that you would carry that's like flat. And that's decent, but like it fills up pretty fast.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, yes.
No, go ahead. Like, go ahead. Do what you got to do and everything else. Because I think if I can, L, if you can see me, if you're good, okay. All right, y'all. So the Spice Queen is here. Oh, yeah. The Spice Queen is definitely here. Spice Queen is definitely here.
Hi. Yeah, hopefully my internet, I don't know, like my internet works fine with everything else, but I don't know, StreamYard, I don't know, like I'm getting the little icon of the Wi-Fi. It's like, it has 2 out of 3 bars, which is good. Before it had like 0 saying, oh, your internet's like unstable. And then I realized like, I haven't restarted or, turned off. Huh?
No, go ahead.
Oh, what did you say? Oh, yeah.
No,
I just realized I hadn't I realized I hadn't shut down or restarted my laptop in a long time. And I'm like, I should probably do that.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
So it seems to be better.
Yeah. Pictures coming in clearer too.
Okay, that's good.
Yep, because at first you were all like pixelated, like the old Nintendo game cartridges. Now you coming into like that 2K, 4K realm of like the next gen consoles and Nintendo Switch on the handheld. Yeah.
Okay, I dig it.
Yeah. So, oof. Oh God, I just cracked my back and I feel great.
Ooh, nice.
Yes. It cracked in like 2-3 places. I'm gonna try to get the other side later. But L told me while I have you guys here as we get ready to kick this topic off. How are you guys' Thanksgiving?
It was cool.
Good. There was some family drama, and that's but whatever. Yeah, there was some family drama. And then It's sort of inevitable with certain people,
Yeah.
and that's that. But overall, it was good. It was actually like my oldest brother said it. It was actually like my first year where we didn't have.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I cut the first year we didn't have, and then I cut. It's always that. It's always the cyber ninjas or the dimension that comes for one of us. Oh, she came back.
Yeah, let me like drop down my definition.
Mm.
I don't know. Maybe that'll help. So now I'm at 480p instead of 20. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're right. You right.
Man. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yes, Rocky.
It
Yes.
didn't happen most years, but there was one year in particular. It just out of nowhere, just good lord. That was actually 10 years ago, I think. It was no, it was long, it was more than that, but it was probably closer to the 15 or 12 years, but 13, 14 years. Either way, I was like, what? Yeah, so that, but you know, we got a little family, right? So we we embrace it. Mr. Politely, ask and politely request the hand. It reminds me of this very sweet style Afrobeat song, Kiss Your Hand. Allow me to kiss your hand, be your man. You know I understand. Well,
Okay.
with more flair, but I'm not gonna go full Afrobeat right now.
Oh no, I love it. I love it. I love to hear like the different cultures and songs and the genres of songs, just because the exposure is needed, very much needed, and it's something different than what I'm used to listening to here in the States. So it's like, yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
No.
The Cyber Ninjas are not going to win tonight. Cyber Ninjas, you better let my friend LB be great tonight. Let her be great.
He's probably do those here. Zingers. I mean, I'm cool. I'm cool enough with my family where it's not a problem if it's more. It's weird though because it used to be all of my family I would see. Well, I guess it's different because I would live with my family when I would come from Boston or from grad. Well, Boston was less time because I was working. Grad school, you were there. I was there at least for the whole entire like end of a semester, winter. But I would be living with family. But even like when I was working full time, I would come in and it was like a few days, right? So I was kind of used to seeing all of my family that sparse. But cousins and aunts for sure were more sparse because you would just see them for a day on Thanksgiving and maybe Christmas, New Year's, one of those, not usually New Year's, usually around Christmas, but it wasn't always consistent. So it's interesting because it's just like, I don't know, I don't see family as often. But now that I live here in Maryland, it's like I can see family more often, but I don't. Like I'm not just kind of casually hanging out with a lot of family. One of them, one of my cousin works though as like a bouncer for this one place in DC. It's relatively popular. It's like kind of more vibey. I mean, good music, basement, free. So that's always a nice. I think I've only paid once for like one special night, which I didn't even know was going to cost money. But largely, overwhelmingly, the events there are free, and it's like a pretty, you know, it's a spot. It's a cafe. Gosh, this freaking background thing is crazy. I'm trying to see like where exactly everything is. I'm trying to do air quotes, but it's a little hard when you're freaking. Well, this is a little bit too powerful of a virtual filter. And my background is too much of a mess to use the real one. But anyway, air quotes. the point is that it's a cafe, but it's like an actual bar club kind of spot, and so I see him. And he's not every night that he's working like of when they do events, but oftentimes I'll see him and I'm like, oh man. I mean, he's cool, but like we knew each other growing up in like more church related things. I mean, he's a cool guy. Like I know he's not really out here judging or anything, but he's like, I know he's like also like he's done mission trips in the past and like is sang in the church worship, but at the same time he's also like a bouncer at this club. So he's in the environment regardless. So I don't think it's like a big deal where he's like gonna be like, oh, what are you doing? And he's always like cool about it. And it's just funny. The first time I saw him, I was like, oh my gosh, you work here. That was probably like sometime during the summer or maybe spring. It was probably summer, early summer or late fall, or late spring. But either way, family is cool. But I get the point, Rocky. I get the humor of it. Favorite trios. Yeah. Some of them I love more bite-sized doses. Listen, you get your bite of food, you get your bite of family. Win-win, right? Mm-hmm. All in moderation. Because when you overeat, don't feel too good. And I'm sure that goes both analogies. Sometimes a little bit too much, you get a little too full. Gotta take a step back and reconsider your life. I know I love this, but yeah.
Right. Hold on. Let's see. In my life, I'm good. Okay. Yeah, no, I get it because like I know on my mom's side of the family, like there's like a small group of people that I love hanging out with, like my cousins, like my younger cousins, my older cousins. It's more so cool to hang out with them. But other than that, like we don't necessarily have like drama per se. And if we did, it was more so like differences of opinions on how things should go. But what doesn't happen in most families, right? And so to not necessarily spend time with them was kind of like, what? But the trade-off is normally if we don't spend Thanksgiving with my mom's side of the family, we normally do it on Christmas. And so that's when like a lot of times I would see like my aunts, my uncles, like so my grandma's brother and sister, and then like my younger aunts, my younger uncles who adopted my mom as like their brother and sister because she was the only child and whatnot. I called them my aunts, my uncles, and so I see them, and then all my other cousins who are about the same age as me or if not younger than me. I'll be able to see them. Sometimes I'll be able to see my brother and his family if they decide to come up and whatnot. But if not, I still see them regardless. So it's fun. It's cool. It's great. We always have a good time, and it's always been like that. But again, just to go to my friend's place, my friend's mom's place, I should say, for Thanksgiving. Like I said, I've known him since I was pretty much in middle school. I was in middle school. He was in high school. So we've known each other for a long, long time. And then he always said, like, man, one day me, you should, like, hang out and whatnot. So, like, I'm all for it. Like, I am so for it. So for it. Because, again, like, his family meshes well with my family here at home. Like to party, like to have fun, like to play games, and just be ourselves. And so going over there, we were actually able to be ourselves and not feel judged about it and not worry about it because like all the age groups were very much represented. And it got to the point where my friend, one of his cousins said that we should come down to their spot down in Indiana because their younger kids mesh well with my youngest son. And they're like, yeah, they've all became good friends. They're all trying to spend the night. They want to hang out more, and it's time is needed. Everybody's getting older, nobody's getting younger, and because of the fact we're all able to kind of travel and whatnot, we should do it. I'm like, you know what? I'm all for it. Like, I've been wanting to come down to Indiana anyways, especially y'all neck of the woods, because y'all over there down by Indianapolis. Like, I'm trying to go. I'm trying to go sightseeing. I'm trying to cause as much chaos and mayhem and leave it behind and tell the governor down in Indiana, y'all fix it, because I'm out. I'm going back up to Michigan, where my governor is arguably the best governor in these great United States of America, next to some other ones. But my governor, I think she's the best. Period. And yep, my pooches is going off. They're yelling at somebody. Anyways, we good, El?
I think so. I moved closer to the Wi-Fi. I hope works. Who knows? Maybe in like 2 minutes it'll just start to act up. I was like, oh no, can you get right on top of the Wi-Fi? In fact, can you become
Right,
like Wi-Fi?
Right, like just sit your laptop right on top of the Wi-Fi. Just sit it right on top. You should be fine. This time nothing's going to happen.
I'm thinking about, possibly getting like a Ethernet cable, trying to run it to the second bedroom, because I remember I had like a Wi-Fi extender and that didn't really help. I don't know if it's just StreamYard. I don't know if it's my internet, because like at work it can be kind of spotty, but it can, but it also like works. But I don't know. It might just be the room, because it is definitely far from the Wi-Fi. Like, I'll give it that, but it's like, I guess like these Wi-Fi routers are just like lying to you when they say like, oh, it can cover like 4,000 square feet or something like that, or 2,000 square feet or something like that. And I'm like, is it just from where the Wi-Fi router starts, just behind it, 2,000? So like my bedroom gets the best Wi-Fi and that's it. Or is it like radius to, like, what is it talking about?
Right.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
I need to invest in that. Like, actually find like the Ethernet, and just maybe I should actually be doing that. Like, that maybe is. Well, I think part of it is I don't use my computer a lot, so it's a little hard. I'm more so on my phone. This is plural. So it's like, oh god, I actually have to use Wi-Fi, and I have to be, it has to be. Well, that's a little bit. Let's not use that term. It ends up being a little bit. I'm a little subservient to it. I almost said it's gonna be my master, but let's not do that on the stream. So let's.
My man.
When it comes to the Wi-Fi, anyways, I'll just say, Rocky, like, that gave me an idea, because I think it would also help if when I have to use my computers, maybe it'll also decongest, the rest of the billion of devices that we have. Like, my brother, I think, has a desktop, and I imagine he has some Ethernet connection, so I'll probably ask him about that.
Yeah. No, I agree. Go ahead, El. Were you gonna say something?
Yeah, my TV is actually wired. My TV is actually wired. It wasn't before. Like, I was, I don't know, briefly kind of dating I don't want to say dating, but I don't know, messing around with this guy, and he brought the Ethernet cable, and he just never took it back. Like, he plugged it into the TV and never took it back. So I was just like, it's been over 2 years now, so I'm like, I guess this is mine. But it's true, like, it does help it out a lot when it comes to, like, instead of having to deal with the Wi-Fi and things like that. Like, now I can't even remember the last time my TV had like internet issues. Only if like the internet itself is down, but I'm not looking at my TV. I'm like calling Comcast if anything. But I actually, or I forget, like, because like Thanksgiving was interesting. I did partake in, I guess, Black Friday slash. I don't know. It just seems like the deals just last for weeks now, as they should have been since the dawn of time. And I bought a new TV because, and I'll share pictures of it on in the Discord. I meant to earlier. So on Saturday or no Sunday, I bought a new TV because my TV that I've had for 5 years was just like the pixels, the LED lights, like like was just going black. But it was only happening like kind of in the center. And it was like, okay, this is annoying, but whatever. I initially bought it on Amazon, like the new TV, but the TV said it was going to take like 2 to 4 weeks to come. And I was like, okay, I could live with this for, a couple of weeks, whatever. And then the next day, from where the line was all the way to like the right or whatever, just went black.
Oh, jeez.
So to put it in perspective, like when I was watching Netflix, I could see on like the meter or whatever, like how long I've been watching a film, but at the end I couldn't tell you what like how much I had left. Like I couldn't tell you how long the film was. So I just like that entire half of the screen was just gone. And I was like, yeah, no, I can't wait 2 to 4 weeks. I need a new TV right now.
Yeah.
It's like this is really bad. And I told my friend this, and he's the one who helped me like mount the TV just like 2 months ago, maybe if that. So he started dying laughing. He was like, "Wow, you just got the TV up, and now you need to get a new TV."
That's tough.
Yeah. So like my boyfriend and I initially went to like a Best Buy outlet that recently opened up near me, and just to see what they had in there. They didn't like they had some nice stuff, but it was like quite expensive. I'm like, I need something nice, but I don't need like an 85-inch OLED. So we went to another Best Buy, like a regular Best Buy. They didn't have the TV that I wanted. I wanted a Hisense U7 65-inch. I wanted to go up 55-inch to 65-inch. And oh, nice job, Recky.
Nice.
And they were like, okay, well, like we ran out in this store, but there's one, at the store 30 minutes north and another one 30 minutes south. So we decided to go to the one 30 minutes north of me. And before we went, we initially measured like my trunk and everything. And my boyfriend looked up like box size of like an LG 65-inch TV. And it looked like it could fit in my trunk. So I was like, okay, cool. Even though we're not getting an LG, like the box can't be like that different of a size. Turns out it was. So it couldn't fit in my trunk. But fortunately, I had rope in my car. So we strapped it to the roof.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fortunately, just happened to have rope.
Yeah. So we drove like an old lady all the way back home.
Oh, I love this.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Thank God he knew how to strap the TV, because I didn't know how to do this. I was like, I just happen to have rope in my car. I was like, I think I have rope actually, and I did. Yeah. I actually get bungee cords. That's actually very important.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah. Especially for something like that.
Yes. I actually, you know what? I got bungee cords, and then I also got like the ratchet straps. that I bought from Sam's Club years ago. They're still in the container because I haven't really cracked it open yet to actually use them the way how I want them, the way how I want to use them. But I got them just because I'm like, you know what? One day I'm going to use these. When I don't know, but I'm going to use them.
Yeah.
But even then, I caught them on like a steal. Like it's almost like it's a 3 or 4 piece set, and I got it for like $20 when originally it was going for like 40, $50. I'm like, I'm cool with that.
Nice. That's good.
I mean, I see where you're going with this, Rocky. I'm hoping I'm not, but you know, you never know. You never know.
So I don't think I've ever purchased this rope. I think when I bought my home, there was just like an unopened thing of rope in like the broom closet, and I was like, whatever, you know. And then like I don't know, maybe a year ago, not even, I needed a ladder that was tall enough to go into my attic, like to reach up into my attic. So I asked Gil, who like lives down the street from me, and I was like, "Can I borrow your ladder?" And I was like, and then I brought my rope just in case. So, and we didn't even need to use the rope to put the ladder in the trunk or in the car, and it was just like right next to me because I had to like pull down like the seats and just it was just right next to me. That's how long the ladder was. Like, oh, okay, well, I was like, yeah, and I guess I just left the rope in the car and it's just been there.
I love this.
Have I had yes, I have. I have had my own blast. And I occasionally burn sage and walk around the house. Yes. I may not have like a nose piercing and like tattoos of my zodiac sign on my body, but yes, I still do have dreadlocks. Like I still have a little bit of the woo woo. Still got a little, spirituality in me.
Oh,
Mercury, I think, is in retrograde. It might be. I don't know.
yes, somebody get me. Yes, I've been saying that for the longest time. Like it's either Mercury or I blame Neptune. I know Neptune is seriously in retrograde because everything is popping off wrong. Like, nah, nope, not even, not even, not even. Ooh, excuse me. But speaking of,
yes, I'm in safe hands.
Yeah, you good.
But no, I appreciate that, Rocky. I really do. So yes, that's why I just had a rope in my car. No.
That's hilarious.
That works fantastically.
Yeah, I don't think I purchased the ropes. I don't see why I would do that. Yeah, I think it was just there when I bought the house. Maybe the previous owner, maybe she was gonna use it for something and then just never did, or I don't know. Maybe her son. I have no idea. So whatever, it's my group. So
there you go. There you go.
Been in this home for 9 years. It's my group.
You know, it's funny you said that because now since you done had that Ethernet cable, that's yours. You've had it for like 2 years now. That's yours. Like
Yeah.
whoever it used to belong to, it don't belong to them anymore. That's your Ethernet cable. You paid
No.
$0 for it.
Yeah. Especially how not like especially how not fun the relations were. That's
There
my
you
I guess that's a little bit of, you know, I guess a bit of, bringing something for the community.
go. There you go.
The community being my home.
Love
But
it.
yeah, I did want to show off my button here because since we're talking about community,
Mm,
kind of hard to see, but it is camera. It is from Misha's Gromlin zine. Misha's
yes.
very nice, of them to send us a copy of the Gromlin zine, of their Gromlin zine. Like they created their own zine and sent us these like cute like little buttons, and I got a sticker too. So
Yes. I gotta find my sticker.
yeah.
Yes. Yes.
No. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, the buttons are cool. And
Hmm.
like, you know, like for talking about community, I would definitely say like we have a very cool, amazing community here at the Melanated Council. It's always great to see, you know, whether it's us or you all posting in like the personal projects section of our Discord channel and just sharing things that you all are doing, which is great. And like it just I feel like it just brings us closer.
Hmm.
I don't want to sound like a weird company that you're trying to apply for, but it does feel like we're a family. And like it's just really amazing because like a lot of us haven't met each other in person. For example, like Ron and Toby, they haven't met each other in person yet.
Gotcha.
um I I don't think any of us have met Rocky or Chad in person either, or uh, Lil Faith, Faye. I don't know why her name was escaping me, or like B Julia, but yet, we come together. It may not be every time we stream, but like, like we come together and you all know that there's like a space for you all here, and it's incredibly important for us to create and cultivate that space to let you all know that you have a space where you will be heard, you will be recognized, you will be seen, you'll be understood. And even though a lot of us haven't met each other in person, like it's like we've still built a community.
Hmm.
And I wanted to talk about the future of community tonight, especially because especially like with the results of the election and just a lot of uncertainty about what's going to happen going forward. Community is the most important thing that we can uphold, that we can either and or uphold and cultivate and create, and to um, at least help us all get through whatever it is that we may be going through. Um, Even if it's good, even if it's if it's bad, if it's annoying, if like whatever it is, like we're here for you all, and like it's just like like it gives us a very warm feeling in our hearts where even if you just come on, even like on Discord and say, I remember Chad said when he turned 30, I think he said I'm 30 or like I turned 30 today, something like very simple. But it was great. It was nice that he shared that with us. I don't know if it was the exact date. I understand not wanting to say like the exact date of like, your birthday on the internet or in group chats or things like that. I totally understand that. But like he didn't have to. It's just like he felt close enough to share that because turning 30 is a big deal. And it's also awesome. And like I was just really appreciative that he came on to our Discord channel to share that he's 30. Like that's really great. What does he say? This is one.
Yeah, love it. Oh gosh.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, and I hope that we're creating a positive community too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't have to be like I think my sister said, because my sister and I were having like a conversation like our sibling group chat, and she said toxic positivity. Like, so I hope it's not like toxic positivity. Like I hope not, because that always seems to be kind of like shallow. Even though there isn't necessarily anything wrong about having like a space where you don't feel like you have to defend your existence. If that makes sense, like fortunately a lot of us are black or people of color, so that I may be biased, but that whether it's not like we're always talking about like black stuff all the time or like things going on and like the black community, African American community, the African diaspora. We sort of just talk about anything, and that's like what a safe space is, I believe, defined as. That's my connotative definition. Just a space where you can be unapologetically yourself, and you're not going to deal with trolls. You're not going to deal with people who are just pretending to be smart, like people who are ignorant or just like are just very like stubborn. Because like I have been in like some other group chats, and it's like you could just kind of tell when it's like all male and I'm the only female, or if it's like majority white men or like white and Latino men, and it's just kind of like, okay, this you could just be talking about just anything, and there just seems to be like a thing that just seems to be an aspect that just seems to be missing. And I've noticed that within podcasts that I listen to. I'm trying to curate my YouTube to show me a lot more Black people, especially Black women. Not necessarily because I think that like Black women are like better or anything, even though they are. But kidding. Like it's more so that there's like whenever you hear information, like if you get a lot of your information just predominantly from white men, it just seems like they kind of cover the surface level of things, and it's not that they're doing it on purpose. It's just that they're blind to their blind spots, you know? And it's like there's like, yeah, you can't help that. It's just that you're like missing a whole bunch of context, but you don't think so, or you don't think that's even necessary to mention.
Mm.
All the money, game, and glamour go to your head.
Got this.
Thank you. Oh, fame and glamour, game too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm sure the game went to Toby's head. But...
You said the fan went top of my head.
No, the game went to Toby's head.
Oh,
Weird.
hilarious. Oh, I'm so done.
No, you're not. You just getting started. You about to get cooking in a minute. Gonna start cooking. What?
Oh, snap.
Hey.
Hey.
Our friend from abroad, I believe.
Yeah.
Hello.
Welcome. Speaking of
Welcome.
community, you know.
Yes. Yes.
Oh yeah.
yes. Fantastic. Fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Something just very like piggyback when I was in, because I was in Boston a few weeks ago. I think last stream. Well, I had just gotten back from Boston on the Friday the 22nd. Right, because of course I was doing my stream when I was in my friend's apartment. That was the whole thing. On my phone, that was interesting. But when I got back the week after, I think there was something about a game. There's something that was so, oh my gosh, I just lost the translation. It was something. Oh wait, I think what it was a friend of mine who I was co-workers. We knew each other before that through Nesby, Black Engineer stuff. In the region, I was in upstate New York. He was in Rhode Island. We met at some conference that was regional. So I knew him for some years. But then he ended up working at my company. He was an intern, but in the DC, Virginia office, while I was in Bedford, Massachusetts. And of course he's from Rhode Island. So like we kind of like missed each other, but we always talked a lot on Snap and just whatever, sent things to each other, chatted with each other. Then eventually started working at that company full time, maybe a year or two into COVID. But he was in Rhode Island, so it was like not very often he would come up. So we didn't see each other all the time, but we still would like chat. We could relate to things that were company related because now he's actually a part of it outside of when he was part-time on call as like a grad student. Anyway, getting to the real story, we were catching up last week. One day I like stopped by the office because this is my old job, but I was able to stop by the lobby. A friend of mine who I didn't know if I would see her, but she worked as a security guard. We don't really talk much now, but like we used to chat all the time. And she's like a few years younger than me. And I went to see my friend who's Black / Ghanaian, but this one girl who's working security. I was like, let me just go and hang out in the lobby area. Caught up a little bit, saw my friend who was the coworker, and then we ended up getting food. And at some point, I gave him a ride. Oh yeah, I gave him a ride to his car from the building to the parking lot before he went to get food. And he said something like, because I had a towel in my front seat, but that's just like usually because it's like, okay, if it rains or if there's anything, it's just nice to have a towel in the car, but it's not for those purposes. So he was like, is that towel used? And I was like, no. He was like, okay, because but he's like, I know how you get down. I was like, what reputation do I have? What reputation do you think I have? I know how you get down. That would be that kind of nasty work actually. If I like had a friend just chilling in the front seat, I'm like, yeah, go ahead. Either the towel I keep there or I move it, knowing that something had happened, and I just let someone sit there and I didn't detail the car or do any kind of anyways, yeah, that's wild. But apparently everyone thinks I have some kind of game. It exists sometimes, but I really be so just in my own world. But me aside, I mean, that community, that's a whole nother thing. A community of people who I was legitimately friends with, but apparently people are out here and I was oblivious to these people. This community of people who are cooking me food and doing all the other things. Saw a lot of them actually. It was really nice. Seeing a bunch of them and meeting even some new people last week. Well, at this point, it was more than a week ago. But I should say 2 weeks ago. Thanks for joining us so early. That is wild. I was supposed to sleep. Oh man. But no, I love it. This online thing. Everything you said, Elda, was like very on point just in terms of creating this space. Even though Rocky was like half joking, I mean, you know, I do feel like we're here, we're ourselves. We, you know, it's always a cool space for people to engage in. And I'm, you know, it's great. It's not necessarily, it's just like, wow, like you guys are choosing to be here on a Tuesday night.
Or very early, I guess Wednesday morning.
Very early Wednesday morning.
Yeah.
Right.
Very early Wednesday morning. And it's just like, wow, fantastic. And I've like met people before, like online internet type of friends. It's the best week in a few years. I feel safe again. That's good.
That's great.
We'll take it.
Oh hell yeah. That's a great win, especially to like end out the year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, nice jab. Nice jab. Nice jab. Nice jab.
He does remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no. And again, I agree with you both. Like the community that we've built together as a group. Yeah, and again, like just to go to Rocky's point, like there were times where it hasn't been like that, and we had to, as what we say here, we really had to thug it out because it was very much differences of opinions. Some people were opinionated. Things would go left or right. And it was more so of, okay, we just got to find what works best for us as an overall collective. And, you know, some have gone on to do their own things. Some have fallen by the wayside. But over the years, like we've seen a lot of people come, we've seen a lot of people go. We've seen a lot of people just circle back just to be like, you know, wow, you guys are still here. It's like, yeah, we're still here every other Tuesday. We haven't really changed a whole lot since then. And like a lot of the people that we've interacted with, you know, some of them, they're like truly like day ones and whatnot. And they just been with the ups and the downs and the roller coasters and switching the streams and all the good stuff. So it's good. It does my heart good to be here, you know, and to know that I could have been doing anything else, but to be able to come and kick it with two of my bestest friends and then all my ones. No way. Gil, you sound a lot like me. Like when I read that, I thought about myself. Like, ain't no way. No, ain't no way. Ain't no way. But sir, good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. And so, and again, like, you know, the moments where we get people from all over, like we've had people from all over the world come in and just kick it with us. It's cool. It's great. Yeah. I love it. I'm loving it.
Oh.
Oof. Well, sir, you know the slogan. You're not late. The party starts when you walk in through the front door of, what is this?
The stream.
The stream. I was going to say like Club TMC. So whenever you walk into the door of Club TMC, that's when your day gets better.
Go. We appreciate you as well.
Mhm.
Seriously.
Mhm.
Everyone has a life. Everyone's busy. Like, you be grinding. I mean, Lord knows I'm not consistent, let's just say, on my social media use, but I do sometimes will check in, see you post something, be streaming, helping produce stuff. I'm like, dang, this man stays busy.
Yeah.
No, for real, for real. Like, I remember the days of Clubhouse and jumping on with Rocky, and just really just like I really didn't have anything to say in a lot of the topics that's been going on, but just to kind of listen from his point of view and to like get some pushback when there was needed, challenge people when it was needed. I'm like, this is cool. This is interesting. Like I can see myself coming in, you know, time and time and time and time again and whatnot. And again, you know, nice. Good to hear.
I know friends who've used it like forever and they just never stopped. So especially some people with international connections, but it is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I was just mentioning that app to someone like a few days ago, and I was like, "What's the name of that app?" That I'm like, I don't even remember anymore. I was like, Periscope, which doesn't even exist. I was like, "It's Periscope?" No, it's not that. I was like, "How do I say something that doesn't even exist?" And then my friend was like, "Clubhouse." Like, yes, Clubhouse. I don't know. I mean, actually, that was a cool time. I definitely remember. So it was because with Twitter, actually, when I enjoyed being, well, I didn't enjoy really being on Twitter, but I did like engaging with some people in the pandemic that I had met through the Yanks Fair. If not directly commenting, just like following some things more on a personal level. It was cool seeing people like Hot Wheels, Namdi. I feel like he's had different Twitter names. Obviously at Genie, you had a lot of people. And I remember Mia Dunford, I want to say, it was like the Humanity First movement. I mean, there were so many different groups, but that's where I remember seeing Rocky. I was on like, it could have been something like this, because I don't know if it was a stream call. It could have been StreamYard. It could have been something more like of this. And I remember they would do this Fridays at like 7 p.m. or sometime. And I caught like at least 2 of them, if not 3. And I was like, this is cool. I'm going to try to come every week. And then life lifed. And I don't think I came back after like the 2nd or 3rd. But it was cool. I was like, I appreciate this. And I think that's also how I got to know the Discord or the Clubhouse at some point. And yeah, it was those Sundays. That was a throwback run. I forgot. And yeah, I would try to come on. I wasn't very consistent at all myself, but sometimes I would listen in. And yeah, it was just interesting to kind of put a voice to certain characters.
Yes.
And I remember Shola Obayan. I should know. She's Nigerian too. Shola with the Yang Gang dating / UBI, truckers for UBI, truckers for Yang. She would do like the Yang Gang dating series with Nelson, I think Orta, and they would just kind of do like these Zoom calls also on like once a week on like Saturday evenings. And I went on a few of those. It was interesting. So I really appreciate the people who made those people wanted to migrate to Twitter Spaces. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. I never really fully got into Twitter Spaces, to be honest. I mean, Twitter just had too much going on that I couldn't really like I couldn't latch onto Spaces. I think they were interesting. Like the idea is not bad, and I think having it isn't bad. It's just that was not an app I really wanted to be on. This is pre-Elon even. So now, especially now,
it's gone so bad. I did actually want to talk about, because of how Twitter is now, it's just like, just becoming like a very right-wing cesspool, and like purposefully so, and like admittedly so. And Elon had like admitted that, like if you share, I mean, I guess no, I didn't share it on Twitter, like, 'cause I shared our stream on Threads and Blue Sky. I don't think I did it on Twitter. But like if you try to share a link from like
page, like a website that isn't Twitter, then it kind of gets suppressed and blocked. So like a lot of like news articles, like like NPR. Well, NPR left like a long time ago. Twitter a long time, but like New York Times, AP News, Reuters, like anything, it gets suppressed. Where like Twitter used to be where people go for like news. That's kind of like what ended up happening. You can get like little blurbs of news and get your news pretty easily there. So he doesn't really want anybody using anything else except Twitter or X or whatever the hell. And that sucks. And I think Meta, like Facebook and Threads, does the same thing to an extent. Maybe not as badly, but still. I think it's called like link throttling or something. I can't remember the term. But Blue Sky is, I don't know if you all remember Blue Sky. They were saying that like Jack Dorsey was leaving Twitter and like starting something similar called Blue Sky. Well, like he's apparently left Blue Sky like a while ago, and like the creator and CEO is like a woman of color. Like I don't know where she's from. She might be like Native American or something like that. And like I had no idea that like a woman was like the CEO or founder of this app this whole time. So it just kind of, it's like, oh, this is just, I just didn't know. This is interesting. And a lot of people are now leaving X to go to like Threads or Blue Sky or something like that. To the point it's like Blue Sky is getting like a lot of like traction. And I've been using Blue Sky a lot more recently. Like ever since I heard about that. I don't have the app. I just have it like on my browser, on my phone, or on my computer. But it is pretty nice. Like I don't get as much engagement as I do on like Threads, because I just have more followers on Threads, and Threads, like random people can like kind of see me. It's more like how Twitter used to be. Like Blue Sky, I don't really get too much engagement, but it is kind of nice to just sort of like just speak into the void or like comment and follow people and things like that. So it is kind of nice. Like it feels like old Twitter, like when Twitter first came out.
Yes.
Where it's just like nothing. That's sort of what it feels like. But there's like over 20 million users on Blue Sky. And people like Hank Green, who's like that scientist that that's pretty big in like this in like social media circles, like on YouTube, Twitter, Threads, and everything. Like he uses Blue Sky, Twitter, and Threads pretty regularly. I think I follow him in all three. And like he likes to do a lot of comparisons between the three. And he's like, yeah, I get a lot more engagement on Blue Sky. A lot of people just get a lot more engagement on Blue Sky, which is nice. Like I looked at Mark Cuban's Twitter today just to see like what he posts, and all he does is just retweet his like Mark Cuban's Cost Plus Drugs site where he sells like pharmaceutical drugs for cheap. So it's kind of funny because it's kind of like all he does really. He might tweet here or there kind of, but like every single tweet that I saw, I didn't scroll back too far, but every single tweet that I saw that like he posted or retweeted, like he retweeted I think some like Elon Musk Vivek supporter because they're doing like the Department of Government Efficiency, which is Doge for the government. And somebody said like, oh, they should get in contact. It's like, Mark Cuban, you should like go and contact these people, blah, 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 these guys. And Mark Cuban like retweeted like, they know how to reach me. And it's not even true. And then like in the comments, it's always like, oh, I thought you were leaving Twitter or X. Like, what are you doing here? Blah, blah, blah. And it's just like negative engagement farming because you could still get paid for engagement. And that's one of the ways you can get paid. Especially because it's just blue check mark people. It's like such a terrible, like freaking like fascist site. I just hate it when things don't make sense, because now you're making it confusing as to like who's like a legitimate person or user or not. Whereas before it was journalists and celebrities and government officials. Now you just have to pay $8 and you get a check mark and you get like stuff. Like a lot of people do end up getting paid, but you have to be like very engaging. You have to kind of have already an established user base and like community anyway. And if you don't, then you're not really getting paid. So what people end up doing is just being like racist and sexist and just being like grifting and just trying to get engagement on their posts so they can get paid, which is gross. So yeah, I mean, I say all that to say is that like people feel as though those people who are moving to Threads and Blue Sky seeking, just like a, I guess, refuge from Twitter X. A lot of people from Twitter are trying to go to Blue Sky or Threads to like troll these people. And it's just kind of funny because it's like, what do you want from us? Kind of thing. It's like, do you just go on these sites? Like, do you just go on X to troll and be a nuisance? So when people go to like, Blue Sky or Threads, you'll see like somebody commenting occasionally on like Mark Cuban's thing, even though he's just like talking about like his normal stuff, or like even like more like political Democratic people. They'll say things like, people will comment, like trolls will comment saying like, oh, so you're coming here to just be in an echo chamber, you're going to be in an echo chamber, without realizing that like, what is it that I'm hearing on X that's out of my echo chamber? Like, if I'm just going over here and getting abused, and so I'm leaving, what is it that I am missing? And I just have a lot of trouble. This isn't me personally. It's just like I just totally like empathize and sympathize with people who are doing that though, because like I get it. Like, go where you're wanted. If you make a post and all the comments that you normally see, because people pay $8 a month to be at the top of your comments, so you're scrolling down looking at comments, and it's just a bunch of negative crap. Like, why would I stay there?
Right.
Or it's just crap that has nothing to do with what I'm even talking about. Like, why the heck would I even stay there? So, also, yeah, you can block people, but you can't really block the comment. So, like, if you try to block or delete a comment that's offensive, that can, let's say, just be offensive to Black people, I can still look at your comments, scroll down, and see that, which isn't fun. So it's like, well, I don't really want to go or really engage because these people are there's just a bunch of just racist, sexist people. So it's like it makes the experience at like in these online spaces like more unbearable. But like if you go to apparently on Blue Sky, I haven't really used it yet because I have like 25 followers or something. Like apparently you can block comments or block user. I think you can block comments so like nobody sees the comment at all, which is pretty cool. Because that's great for like bots, who are just like promoting, I don't know, their OnlyFans page that has nothing to do with you talking about televisions. You can, so that just makes it like the engagement and just like the experience a lot better for everybody, because, or if somebody just says something that's racist, You know, it's like now no one can see that, and it's like, yeah, because what are you like 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 you're not applying anything to this conversation. Like if somebody wants to like talk about how to, you know, what's the best way of getting, I don't know, universal healthcare, you know, passed in Wisconsin or something, and you're just going to be out here saying like, I don't know, something racist or sexist because of just how I look. You're not like, you're not adding anything. So it's like, what's the point of like saying that, oh, you're gonna keep yourself in an echo chamber? It's like no, you should know the difference between an echo chamber and actually being able to add substance or even criticism to a conversation.
Right, right, right. And I'm going to piggyback off of you, El, because I messed around and like, let's see, about a week and a half ago, I was curious because a lot of people because I got like 3 Twitter pages, right? And so on my gaming Twitter page that I have, a lot of the people that I've been kind of like following, they're like, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and move over to the that Butterfly app because it's a better community over there. It's just away from all of the mess we got going on here. So I'm like curious, like, okay, what is this app that everybody's talking about? And so I downloaded the app, and for once, I found myself like talking to people and just legit having conversations and whatnot. And it's been phenomenal. It's been phenomenal. And I'm like, I'm not looking back at all. Like, will it pain me to migrate everything from Twitter to go to X, and especially since my very first account that I have on Twitter, I've had that since like 2013, 2014. So when Twitter was actually good and not as polluted and not as trash, absolutely, that's going to suck. That's going to suck major. But because of the fact that I'll get peace of mind, oh yeah, in a heartbeat, heartbeat, in a heartbeat. And like the one thing that I did was, especially when Michigan beat Ohio State and knocked them out of the Big Ten playoff game, the Big Ten championship game, I just said, go blue, and had the Michigan flag waving as a GIF or GIF, however you pronounce it. And I had like 4 or 5 people like it, retweet it, and whatnot. And somebody else said, yeah, go blue. I was like, go blue. And again, they got liked and retweeted, and somebody made a comment saying, like, the reason why I left Twitter was because all the porn sites is at the third. And I was like, and I kind of like, no, I agree. Like, that's the reason why I'm leaving Twitter too, because it never fails. I have 3 different accounts, and on each of those accounts, I get something sexually suggestive themes and anything else. Like, it's irritating. Like, I keep blocking, and I still get it sent to me over and over and over again. Like, I'm tired of it. I am absolutely tired of it. And had a nice little dialogue about it. They're like, yeah, like, it's crazy that that's how the algorithm is doing it. And it's like, it sucks. Like, absolutely. And I talked to one guy, and he was like, yeah, he's like, I'm leaving Twitter because like it's annoying. It's annoying to go scroll down and you get some thread about some porno that happened, and he was like, yeah, he's like, it's gotten disgusting. He's like, I'm good. I'm like, no, like, dude, I'm with you. I'm all for it. And even then, like, I found like a black community within Blue Sky. Oh, I love them. They're hilarious. Oh, hilarious. Like the pretty much the best of the best that didn't get noticed on Twitter. I see them on Blue Sky, and we talk about everything from board games, which people have been putting me on, to um, books, to live, to just really about anything and everything. And a lot of it has been very good. A lot of it has been very good. I haven't seen anything negative except for like somebody said, well, I'm gonna say this because it's a safe space. I hate SpongeBob. Like,
Okay.
like, man, you about to hit the hornet's nest, but then they're like, if we're talking about like OG SpongeBob, like cool, yeah, OG SpongeBob was phenomenal. Yes. After that, when that mess started getting weird, yeah, it started getting weirder. Like, yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. Like, I can't deal with SpongeBob anymore. I can't. I can't. But again, like, just the warm embrace you get over there, it's phenomenal. I wouldn't change it for the world. I wouldn't change it for the world.
Yeah. Like, it makes me happy, like, and I hope like this pushes more women, especially women of color, to like create social media apps, like, because like Blue Sky is known to have, I guess, like really good blocking system. And I know that they block like libs of TikTok, and people are, and like, of course, like people who are like more so right wing are like, oh, you're just trying to get into an echo chamber. Why would you block them? It's like, because like they push conspiracy. I mean, I don't know. I don't know why she did that, why the CEO did, I don't know, or whoever is in charge did that. I just assume it's like, well, they have a massive following that just, and like they're just known to spread like racism, sexism, like transphobia, homophobia, and it's like, it just doesn't really like add anything.
Right.
Like, I mean, I haven't searched in a while, but I know I've brought this up on the stream before because I had to, because this pisses me off. Like, I would love to follow like conservatives and people who like maybe like lean right, who aren't just sharing stuff that makes like the left bad, who's like actually critical of the right as well. Because like I'm left leaning, I'm critical of like things that we do on the left and things like that. And it's like, is there somebody on the right who's like that? Or are they just all like lockstep with each other and like the right can do no wrong sort of thing? Or if it's like all they share is just like Black Republican owns white liberal with facts and logic, like sharing those kinds of YouTube videos, and that's it. And then like, but they're not like giving you any sort of like substance.
Right.
Like, it's like, is there anybody who's just like not in a cult? Who's just regular, who's just who's on the right? It's like, I don't really like, you can be conservative and like not like Trump kind of thing. Or if it's like, you want like, it's like, I want to know, I want to hear, but it's like, I just don't like really see that, because I feel like they're still of the ilk of like, oh, you don't really talk about politics. So maybe like they're still, they don't really do that. They just like, share normal G-rated stuff, or just share videos of them like redoing their home, or videos of their dog or something. like something that's just like, bipartisan or nonpartisan and like stuff.
Mhm.
So it's just, like, I don't know. I'm just very curious as to like where, like, y'all don't like debate within your community. Y'all are just okay with literally everything, or are y'all okay with like your community or like your party just being completely taken over by, like MAGA? Are y'all like just chill about that? Like, I'm trying to think what would be like, yeah, like if like the left was like just totally taken over by like communists, you know, like I would have a problem with that. I would be like, yo, what the hell? It,
Mhm.
oddly enough, yes, our episode is about community, and like I know that like communism, I think, is supposed to like be spurred from community, if I'm not mistaken, but it's very like aggressive, where it's like you're kind of, I mean, I don't know. I can't speak for. I guess like how I view it is just like your community just takes care of itself, which like
Mhm.
sounds good in theory, but it's like no, we still need like trade and we need access to like the outside. Like there's only so much, like there's only so much, like cows I can milk, and like yard I can plow, like gardens I can,
Yeah.
like all, even though it like I would love to grow vegetables on my patio, especially since like RFK Jr. is going to be in charge of like was like human health, I don't know, healthcare services and stuff like that, if that's really going to happen. Like I don't know what kind of vegetables and stuff they're going to be selling.
Oh, whew. Yes. Oh
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah, so I'm like, maybe I should. I mean, it's just like, I just have to take care of like me and my boyfriend, my boyfriend, and like my mom. But like my mom, she can, try to help her start her own garden because she likes gardening anyway. So
Mhm. Mhm.
she'd be better at it than I will be. Because it's like I can't. Like maybe that's just me being overly paranoid. I don't know.
Mm-mm. Oh no, not at all. Not at all. And it's funny because these are the conversations that I have with my own household. And was talking to my daughter yesterday, and she was like, "Yeah," she's like, "I'm kind of concerned about the direction of the country, like and everything else, like as you should be, as you should, And she was like, "Yeah, because what's this going on, and everything else." I'm like, "But baby girl, you got to dig deeper than that." She's like, "Well, what do you mean?" It's like we all know that America was founded upon a lie as it is, anyways. We know that, and we know that for the majority of the schools, they've been teaching nothing but lies because in order for you to save a lie, you have to tell another lie on top of that lie. So like, yeah, we all know that the America was built off of lies. And so she was like, "Well, why?" It's like, "Well, if you really want to know why, like let's be real now. America really was founded on colorism. It was really founded on colorism. What do you mean?" It's like, well, and again, because of the fact one of my classes I took in college was U.S. history from, I want to say, 1450 or 1500s, either the 1400s or 1500s, up until like the early 1900s. So that gap. And I told her that you got to think the first people who came over here were European, well, people of European descent, right? Right. Okay, so they're more so white, right? Right. So for anybody who wasn't necessarily of European descent, they pretty much got frowned upon. no matter what kind of education they had, no matter what kind of background they had, like that's what was happening back then. And so, because of a lot of that carried on throughout the years, and it necessarily never got dealt with, especially when it came to slavery time, it never got dealt with. It just intensified. And so, it got to the point now where if you look back in the 1990s and whatnot, the more successful actors and actresses that were within the Black culture, they weren't necessarily super dark. I mean, get it? Of course, you had Wesley Snipes. You had who was it? Wesley Snipes, Morris Chestnut, Taye Diggs, just to kind of name a few who found their own niche, who were very successful in their own right. But outside of them, anybody else who was light skinned, who was a light skinned Black person, and especially if they fell more so closer on the white end of the spectrum, they were a little bit more successful in everything else. And she kind of said that she thought about it. She's like, "Are you kidding me?" I'm like, it's always been like that. Even within our own Black African American communities, it's always been like that. Not to say it's wrong, but some cases it is. But at the same time, it's just one of those things that we have to deal with, and we just have to talk about it in a way where it's not belittling anybody, but embracing that person, because it's been ingrained for such a long time. And so she was like, can we go like out of the country and not turn back? Like, well, it sounds good. And it sounds good in theory. Like, if we want to go to the islands, absolutely. Heck yes. Let's go. I'm all for it. Passports, we're ready to go. Absolutely. Yes. The United States is ghetto. Yes. However, if you really want to go to a place where it's like you will get accepted, you might get looked at funny because there's not a lot of us in those areas. Like, if you want to go to the UK, like you say you want to, go for it. If you want to go to some of the Scandinavian countries like Norway, Denmark, Switzerland, which will forever always have my heart, I will visit that one day. Go there. You probably will get a little bit more bang for your buck. Even though she's talking about, well, I like Ireland because they actually wanted to pay Black people to come over there to go to the college and to kind of settle down. Mind you, she's doing her own research. She's doing her own research about, to Rocky's point. Yeah,
Like
agreed. This point here, yes.
Yeah, like they just kind of, conceptualize that. And it's like, well, the continent of Africa is like in the center of the world. But I guess like they just assume that they didn't know like Black people existed. And like, yeah, I mean, Africans had boats and were traveling around too.
Yes.
Because what was this, like the 1500s? Like, this wasn't even like, this wasn't like in the BC era kind of thing. Even still, like, it's like, bro, this was like the 1500s. Like, yeah, that was a long time ago. And like, of course, they didn't have like phones and planes and things, but like they had boats. They had tools, they had weapons.
Yeah.
Like there were people who were out there like exploring or just trading. They had trade, Like, they set up trade routes and things like that. So yeah, that's not that insane to think about, but like it's just, I don't know. Instead of being like, Wow, that's interesting. They get mad, which is crazy. Like, that makes total sense.
You, I get it. I get it. I get it. But yeah, no, we just had a really nice talk last night, and like you can see, like a lot of the wheels were turning in her head, like the light bulbs are going off because she was like, okay, I'm getting a lot of information, but also at the same time, I know that this is probably stuff I probably will not learn until I graduate high school, which actually sucks. But to say all of that, to be like, sometimes like the communities that we're in, they are there to help shed light on a lot of stuff and to also just uncover a lot of the deeper meanings that are going around. That if we're just stuck, I don't think you said this or it was Rocky. Somebody said this, but if we're always just consuming like one source of media and not necessarily giving ourselves the opportunity to listen to another source, we're just going to think one-sided, and it's
Mhm.
not helpful. It's not helpful at all. It won't get you anywhere. And so I tell my kids, like, it's best if you do your own research. Is it going to suck? Absolutely. But if you do your own research and you know for yourself, can't nobody steer you wrong because you know the information more so than what they do. And you've already done your research and you've already spent the hours and just, drilling down as far as you possibly can go till you can't go anywhere else and be like, I'm good. I'm happy. I'm satisfied. I got my answer. I found what I was looking for. I'm good. And take it from there. And so I'm going to circle back too, because El, you made a very good point. Like finding like conservatives who aren't like lock in step, but more so just like I don't think what's going on is actually legit or correct because it's some foulness going on. I smell a rat, and nah, it ain't happening. Uh huh. Correct. Correct. I will give you a head nod on that one. Correct. Absolutely. Because even then, like I've told them, like try to stay away from Wikipedia as much as possible. Try to stay away from Wikipedia. Is it a good reference? Sure. Good source? Sure. But I wouldn't necessarily bank everything on Wikipedia. I would get what you can from Wikipedia and bounce it off of different sources and just to be certain for your own sake and for your own safety. I remember I was a senior in high school and I had my honors English teacher. He was like, I understand with the advance of the internet, you guys can do your own research. You don't necessarily have to go to the library and all this other good stuff. That's fine, it's great. He said, but what I want you guys to do, I challenge you guys, stay away from Wikipedia as much as possible. Well, what do you mean? And he told us this. He's like, with Wikipedia, a lot of times, in order for the entry to actually be in there, is someone has to throw the idea out saying, hey, this is what this is, this is what it's about, da, 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 da. You have other people who have to vote on it to see if it's like accurate, if it's correct. And even if there's something missing or there's something out and they don't catch it, if they all vote yes on it, it's going to mess around. It's going to get posted until somebody has to come back, revise that post to make it accurate and congruent, and this and the third. He's like, be careful. He said, be extremely careful. He said, if you use it as a first site, he said, I'm going to dock your paper. I'm going to dock your paper 5 points. So if you're going to do a research paper, if you use Wikipedia, make sure it's at the last of your sources page, but try to do something else, like go to the library, take the dust off the Encyclopedia Britannicas, and do the hard digging, do the hard researching. I want you guys to get used to doing that, because if you guys decide to go off to college and do some harder research papers, you're already going to be prepared for it because you've already done the hard work before. And so I tell my kids the same thing. Like, if you do your own research and you do the hard work, you're going to be good. It's going to become second nature to you. And so they're like, well, what about this? What about that? It's like, just do your own research. Why you guys think I always tell you guys, you look it up for yourself? I already know the answer majority of the time, but I want you guys to know the same answer too as well, and understand where you got it from. So that way you can stand on your own 2 feet and be like, I got it just here from here. Say, I went, I did my research, I found it up, I balanced it off with some other ones, and they all kind of pretty much said the same thing. I'm good. In rant. Yeah.
You know,
And go ahead.
Oh, the other day I had like a thought about like who can you trust for information? Because I was watching like this video of like this guy who was like, he was a white guy and he was talking about how like pretty much like why MAGA people are like kind of like in a cult, or like they're or what have you. You know, he was like really like going in. But one thing he said that was very interesting was, if this man is telling you that your allies are your enemies and your enemies are your allies, that's bad. Because like, if you're saying that like Russia and Putin are good, while like your allies, I guess like NATO, I think he was referring to, is bad, then that's concerning, because like we should all be like at least like on the same page when it comes to like certain things. It's like, yeah, like we shouldn't be friendly with Russia. We should be very like worry of like China.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yeah, but like some other countries like Japan, South Korea, and South Korea is going through some weird crap right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like we should be like Canada, like our friends, like we should know who they are. Mm-hmm. So if someone keeps trying to force like Russia onto you when like that wasn't the case like ever, and like for good reason, it's like you're being cautious of Russia, then it's like, I don't know, like it just seems like very strange.
Mm-hmm.
But like it turns out that like even prior to Trump ever running for president, he's got into like monetary issues with Russia. I guess like borrowing money from Russia and things like that. I didn't know that. But it was just interesting that he kind of made that simplistic analysis. Like if you're trying to convince your enemies are your allies and your allies are your enemies, and the only person you can actually trust information from is like a known con artist that like, it's like not a secret. Like we all like knew this. It's just like, it's just very interesting because it's like, yeah, like what is it that he's doing? I mean, I understand it's propaganda and like, you sprinkle in with some racism and and also just like the state of our country, and people are, especially like with inflation and everything, even though like gas is down, like on average it's like $2.99 throughout the country. And Black Friday had like the most sales ever, breaking last year's record or whatever the last record was. So I don't know, people just magically have money now, even though Biden's still in office.
Mm-hmm.
Like it is just like interesting to like kind of just put that into perspective of like, yeah, like why is this person doing that, and like shouldn't we like be way more concerned?
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know, like all this crap is like weird, because like they could have just not have Trump run even in the primaries. They could have just did that. But especially Republicans. That doesn't make sense. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. Like that's definitely racism baked in. I'm not even going to try to sugarcoat that. Like,
Yeah.
that's why it's easier to like, to accept and swallow Russia, quote unquote, like than 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 to like just accept China, kind of thing.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, like that's absolutely the case. That is absolutely the case. Like it's so amusing to see. So I remember like when like Russia and Ukraine, well, there's still a war between them, but like when it first started, and like you would hear like the news pundits saying like, "Oh, these are like, people with like blonde hair and blue eyes." And it's like, oh, so we're supposed to like care more? Like, what are you trying to say? Well, that is what they were trying to say. And like I guess that does help people care more, at least white people. But like people of color, I mean, a lot of us, like, of course, like everybody cared. It's like, yeah, no one should just be getting killed for no reason. And like their country shouldn't be like getting taken over, which is like freaking wild. But it was like to try to convince people to care. It was like y'all are saying the quiet part out loud. People are still acting like that part is quiet, and it's like I don't get it. It's like I guess like it just doesn't matter. Not to say like it's one thing to like you should just be able to care about people dying regardless. Like that's what you should, you shouldn't have to be like, but they're white people, like you to make them care. Like that's weird. That's so weird. So it's like, oh, so they don't care about like Black people or people of color dying like all the time from war. I mean, because I remember like there was like Syria a couple of years ago. There's like everything happened in Israel now, and it's just like, oh well. It's like, no, you got to care about them a lot more, though. They matter more. Like it's just weird. It's like, no. How about we just stop killing each other? Wild concept, I know. Well, I guess we just can't help ourselves as humans. I don't know.
Truly revolutionary, but it does seem revolutionary. Because I guess that's my. I wouldn't say nihilism or anything, but like the sort of like if I have to be fatalist in humanity, like, oh, this is what humans are destined to do. I mean, it shouldn't have to be like that, but it's like, yeah. I mean, there's definitely a lot of accelerants and plenty of international meddling and things. A lot of things that led to a lot of conditions, but I don't know, such a global and just complex world. But I mean, yeah, there's a lot, like even with Sudan, that's like maybe the biggest possible, I don't know if they call it genocide, but the fact that it's going to be like a famine and it could even get to like another stage beyond that. And you don't hear much about Sudan. And it's just like, why is that? It's all really terrible. Then we're paying the price now.
Mhm.
There, Candace. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because that's the thing. Is like it's always like, man, the RNC, like, you know, I'm not, you know, I don't go around singing the RNC praises and, you know, have a shrine to them in my apartment. I really don't think about the RNC. I'm not a registered Republican, but I'm like, well, at least the RNC did have some kind of primary. Now, some people, yeah, it is an interesting idea. Is should they have locked them out? I mean, I don't know like what kind of shenanigans they really could have done. They just kind of, they just kind of rode with it. They had the debates. Trump chose not to attend any of them. In some ways, he felt very entitled to get back into the office because he was already there once, right? So, yeah, it's like, yeah, they have the democratic process, which I think is correct. With Democrats, it's just such a weird, everything's unprecedented. So it is, yeah, it's everything how things ended up. I wouldn't say that it was 100% preventable, but it is just like, you have to just be like, choices were made. Not always the best ones, but oh snap. Not my real life friend. I didn't really post about it. I've been very much falling off of my invite game. I used to be like sharing to every platform, but now it is what it is. I try to post where I can. Not Snap. Yeah, Snap is usually where I start. Snap and Facebook, then I migrate to other platforms. But it's good, you know. I appreciate when people come on and see me, see us talking. Can't say. Yeah, I know there was some conversation that I'm catching up on because I had to disappear for a second, but it's I don't know, it's interesting. That idea of like, I guess it was kind of getting into propaganda, or like why someone's trying to teach you, spread certain information or make you like shape certain opinions. I actually just saw something about like the Malcolm X is his quote about like the media will have you loving your oppressors or hating your or whatever. I feel like that quote though, just like generally like, yeah, you're gonna end up actually there's a comedian, Josh Johnson, talking about the J. Cole, really with the Kendrick Drake beef, but like with J. Cole even, where it's just like people are clowning him, where he like did a diss and he took it down, apologized for it, and Josh was like, no, he was like the smartest one of that whole. He was like, he was like, if you listen to people online, you listen to people will have you. The people who are very comfortable and safe will be like, yeah, you're gonna take that. You're gonna be a little B. You're gonna take that. Like, it was actually really funny. I'll have to send the clip of the whole stand-up was about like the Drake Kendrick beef at the time, but it was just funny how it's kind of like people will have you like messing up your own lives. People who are very comfortable in their lives, or people who want you to like believe whatever their agenda is to do it, will have you at odds. I mean, granted, if you have an opinion of Russia and China, it's a lot different than like getting yourself beat up or like getting into some bad mess, getting your reputation slandered because you sort of joined some kind of, basically you're listening to others' opinions instead of yourself. But I do think it's interesting that thing that you said, Rocky. Like, I think I kind of missed like conversation real time, but like the Russia China thing where it's like, okay, well, I have this perception because this is what I'm hearing. Even some of the stuff Lil Faith was saying, I thought that there were some interesting things there where it's like, I haven't really looked I know that there's a tension with Taiwan and China, and everything's like anti-China. And like you said, there's definitely the race reason why it's easier, especially after COVID, to view them in a certain way, and then that unfortunately trickles down to people. But it was interesting seeing what Lil Faye was saying on Discord and kind of the stuff with China, Taiwan, and how the U.S. is playing a dangerous game of economic warfare and stuff. And it is like interesting. What are we consuming? What are our postures? Now, we're not necessarily like, here waving the flag and being like, yeah, like all these people are enemies, whatever. I mean, we're all individual people, and we have our own ideas and thoughts, but sometimes you can get caught up with, especially if you're following like a lot of political rhetoric, a lot of campaign rhetoric or whatever. I mean, even in my company, well, not really my company. I don't know if it was my last company, but I do know sometimes if you're seeing stuff in the more defense space, you're going to hear things come up about like, you're trying to beat China, or you're trying to beat this race and this arm race. And I get it. We're in this world and there are other countries with interest, and you do have real geopolitics and stuff. But sometimes I'm like, do I actually want to be at odds with XYZ? Like, almost like when it comes to community, like if you, not exactly communism, but like if you're trying to like break the concept of a state and you're just communing with people all over the world, you can have these connections with people in these countries. But then be still critical, I guess, of the government of certain countries. Mm-hmm. But sometimes it's hard to distinguish, like to the point where I've seen some really weird, twisted things of like wanting to like, celebrate Russians dying. I mean, it's like, obviously, if you're someone who wants to defend Ukraine and want Ukraine to, not be taken over, I get it, of course. Just like from a defensive standpoint, it's like good, they're able to hold off. But there's been some others who kind of are like almost celebrating like the idea of just the massive amounts of slaughter happening just overall, right? And so I never wanted to get to that point where it's like, I would like to think I'm more, I mean, I never called myself a humanist, but generally you want human beings to do well. I'm not here to like, and I think that's why I wouldn't really personally want to be like, this is not any shade to anyone. Obviously, thank people who served, but like personally wanting to go and like having to go fight, it's like, I don't know if I'm really trying to, someone who's young and is like their whole future ahead of them, and then we're young, we have our whole future, and then we go. And I mean, war in the world is just not that, it's not all fun and roses. People do have to get into some serious engagements, and obviously things like World War II and other things were kind of necessary, but it's also like not something that I really long for or think is like great. It's different, I guess, when you have non-state actors, like when you have things like ISIS or Al-Qaeda. But when you have state-on-state stuff, it's like no one's really winning here. I'm not celebrating massive amounts of young Russians dead and the Ukrainians who've lost Lord knows how much of their population. Anyway, that's like a whole other tangent. But it kind of reminded me of community, where it's like the idea of community outside of like the governments and the military and the big institutions of different countries that have their own beef. When it comes to the regular people, it's like, are we really thinking about like those people as our enemies? And I mean, that's just not a smart or healthy way, I think, to think about it. I'm not saying most people do, but there are people who are much more hawkish about certain things, and it kind of just can abstract away what's happening. Thankfully, I think with what's going on in Palestine, people are much more conscious, but it's easier to sort of just, for sometimes, to see it as, well, this is this state filled with these people who have done these things, but whereas like the actual humanity and the community, I don't know. I just kind of, just some different thoughts that kind of sort of came up in response to some of what was being said in here. Not like a rebuttal or anything, I don't know. The idea of community is interesting when it comes to the global aspect and the people versus what is going on in the governments. Even when governments are at odds with each other, there can be a lot of solidarity. I think that's the word I was looking for. There can be a lot of solidarity with people who may not be so different.
No, that's legit. That's legit. I know right now I got me some almond nog. So not eggnog, but almond nog.
Okay.
I like
Yes,
your
I
mug.
should. Oh yeah, PlayStation. Even
Yeah,
though
with
this,
the controller as the handle. That's cool.
yeah, even though it's been chipped and whatnot, but got that.
Mm.
There. And I think they're celebrating what 30 years of being in
Yeah,
existence.
yeah.
You said who's celebrating 30 years?
PlayStation.
PlayStation.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Also, I didn't realize I was looking at the chat. I definitely didn't see your question. Angela. Yeah, I do have trainings.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be up late again. Oh God, I have to be in the office tomorrow. I don't have to be in the office until no, that's fine. I don't have to be in the office till the afternoon. But I'm probably gonna just I haven't had enough time to just sit in one spot and just get the trainings done. This is gonna be a real mad rush to the end of the year to get done a lot of stuff that I can get paid incentives to do in terms of percent increases. And why didn't I do this at any point earlier in the year? Don't ask me. But I think some of it wasn't even announced until later, but that still was probably March, honestly, or April maybe. So, yeah, some trainings, but it's okay. We're gonna get them done.
Better hop on it, sir. Angela is not playing. She is on your head for real. Don't worry, Angela. I got you. I got you. I got your back. Me, you right here. That's if you're still there. If you're still there, me, you, we right here. I'm gonna help you with Sir Toby. And yeah, you ain't dead. You about to be alive. We better quit playing. But so it'd be interesting for as far as this next year goes. And Julia, hey.
Woo!
speaking about the day ones.
Yeah. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, that individual, he's good to be seen. He's good to be seen. But no, and even then, because I'll probably say this, and then yes.
Yeah, of course.
I was going to say this too, like circling back to what you were saying too, El. I know a lot of people in my job are talking about, yeah, you should move into the country. Like, yes, I would love to move to the country. Like, you have no idea, just due to the fact of how much gardening I could do, and especially in preparation for what this next administration is going to do, and how countries are preparing in response to what this next administration is going to do, and it's bonkers that not everybody's taking this as serious as it should be, because I was reading an article on Twitter where possibly. So I was reading on Twitter. Actually, no, it wasn't Twitter. I think it was on no, it might have been on Twitter. Then I kind of bounced it off of Yahoo News. But just I got you, Rocky. What China is going to do in response to a lot of the tariffs that Trump is willing to impose on China for certain things is China is willing to block a lot of the key components that we need to make our computers with. And they're like, yeah, if Trump is wanting to do this, then okay, we'll just block some key items so that way you don't have all the necessary resources to make your computers with because we have them. And I'm like, ooh, that's good. That's good because, again, if anybody, yes, because if anybody who knows anything about the United States is like, sure, we are probably we're probably one of the most populous nations on the world. However, we do lack a lot of the natural resources that is needed to make certain items here in America, which I know a lot of people like, yeah, we're going to, we're going to have Trump to do this to China. And I'm like, well, don't you realize like about the majority of the stuff you have comes from China in one way, shape, or form. Like there's a tag that says on a lot of your electronics made in China. Like where else you gonna get that from if you're gonna block it from China? A lot of your TVs, a lot of your refrigerators, your stoves, a lot of things come from China. But even still, then like, and even then, I'll go to Julia's point too. When I was working in manufacturing, like we don't necessarily have the capabilities of making good steel that's actually going to survive just due to the fact that, again, we don't necessarily have the actual resources to do it. We have to get it outsourced. And I remember working at a manufacturing plant here in Michigan that makes the UPS trucks for all over the United States and whatnot. We were going on a steel storage. And the guy was like, if we can't get steel here in the United States, we're going to have to buy from overseas. And one of the biggest producers of steel within the world is sad to say, is China. And so we're going to have to succumb to if we get to the point where if the American steel workers can't produce enough steel that we need to meet the supply, we're going to have to buy overseas. And again, one of the biggest steel producers in the world is China. But again, he was like, if push comes to shove, that's what we're going to do. It's like, it may not be the best steel, but at the same time, we know it'll get the job done. Here we are, 2024, about 4 or 5 years later, eating those same words, and it sucks. It sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there they are, because the Pentagon done blew the audit for the 7th time now. So obviously there's somebody mismanaging money somewhere in the Pentagon, and it ain't looking too hot. If the Pentagon is blowing money and they messed up on their audit for the 7th time, yeah, some fish is going on. Some fish is going on. So and again, like there's just like a lot of stuff that's going on. And so like Elle was saying, like I'm all for like building my own little farm and doing my own gardening and all the other good stuff. Yeah, she may be right.
Yeah, I'm glad I wasn't crazy because
No.
It's something I've been wanting to do for years, like on and up, and thinking about it. Because especially growing herbs like rosemary and mint and stuff because it's expensive to continuously buy, but apparently it's very easy to grow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and but like I also want to grow like tomatoes and like lettuce and
Hmm.
stuff like that, and just like things that won't take up like too much space on my patio because I have a very large patio, but
Hmm.
I also want it to also like for friends and family, like people to like be able to like sit down and enjoy the patio.
Yeah.
So like considering if anything getting like those like vertical kind of growing garden sort of things, like it's like little
Hmm.
pots because
Yeah.
it's not going to be like too many different things, and it's just going to be for like me primarily. And
Mm,
since I live
okay.
in South Florida, I don't really have to worry about the seasons too much. Just have to worry about when it rains insanely during I don't know, like 6 months out of the year, and also hurricanes, of course.
Yeah. Mm, you know what? Because I know the snow is melting here and whatnot. Have you thought about like doing some above gardening, like pots, above ground gardening pots?
Yeah, that's what I
And
was trying to like. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
yeah, and so I will show you. I don't know if I've done this or not, but and I'll post this in the Discord too because I've done this since the beginning of the pandemic. So like 2019, 2020, I've been doing my own garden for like past 4 years. And
Mm.
for the most part, a lot of the stuff that I have grown, I found some good success. Now, the one thing that I do struggle with is, especially in my area, is tomatoes. And I know this year I've talked to a lot of people who've had their own gardens, and they said that this year was probably one of the hardest years they've had growing tomatoes here in Michigan, especially like Southwest Michigan. It's been really hard, really hard. Anything else, like I've grown carrots, I've grown cucumbers, I've grown spinach, I've grown okra. I did okra one year, which turned out nice. Um, Green beans have always turned out nice. Like there's a lot of stuff that I've grown and found some really good success. I know I probably will have to buy like another strawberry plant and do that one.
Mm.
Um, and just like some berries. So probably get like another raspberry plant, another blackberry plant, another blueberry plant, and I should be good. And just go from there. But yeah, I'll take a picture of my above ground garden that I got and what I've done over the past 4 years. This
Okay.
coming up, this coming up January will be year number 5 and whatnot. And it's worth it. It's so worth it. It's so worth it, and especially for UL because of the fact that you do live in Florida and you don't necessarily have to worry about like the frost seasons that we have to worry about here in Michigan. You'll be in prime condition to grow a lot,
Yeah,
a
like
whole
all
lot.
year round. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah. No, like it is definitely a blessing for that. I mean, right now it's like cold, which is surprising. Well, like it shouldn't be surprising. It's like I think it's like in the 50s right now, but it got to the high of like 72 today, and I think tomorrow's going to be like around the same. But like if it's like in the 50s now, I know that's probably not too crazy for a plant. It's just
Mhm.
crazy for like South Floridians. But I've told you all about like the avocado tree that's like in front of my place. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's just awesome to be able to get free avocados.
Nice.
Because that's just what the tree does. It's just being an avocado tree.
Nice.
Like, it's just really cool. Like when I hear it, just the big huge avocado just land on my roof. It's like, oh, avocados here. It just sucks that you can't really have it all year round. I mean, I guess you can if you freeze them, but
Mhm.
it's just really cool. So it's just like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, we could just grow a lot of other things. But yeah, definitely take a picture of like your above ground garden.
Yeah. Yeah. And even then, like I know this year I had to move some stuff around because the way how the summers were, it was like just like this summer was I don't want to say super hot, but it
Mhm.
was hotter than normal. Just put it like that. It was way hotter than normal. And so a lot of my produce didn't grow the way how I wanted them to grow. And even then, just trying to keep them watered throughout the summertime and not necessarily try to raise up my water bill, which sucked, but got to do what you got to do. But even still, like, I think I did very well with my green beans. I did very well with one of my peppers. I think it was like my bell peppers. Yep, I did grow bell peppers. I grew some bell peppers this year, and they were nice. I was able to get one, but all the rest of them, they just got like bugs got to them, and I think I had like a raccoon or a possum get into it, which was fine.
Mhm.
Don't feed the animals, whatever. But it was just cool to be able to do it, and so now I'm at the point where next year, like I want to do more, and so I'll probably end up getting more pots and just trying to scatter them in a way where they'll get light and just to be able to thrive. And
Mhm.
so, and oh yeah, to Rocky's point too, I do have like a greenhouse fixture that my wife's friend gave me because she knows I was a gardener. So I'm gonna utilize that too as well during the springtime and see how that goes. Yeah, and go from there. So uh, those are what I'll do. I'll probably do that. I'll probably do that tomorrow. Yeah, I'll probably do that tomorrow as long as the weather is decent. No, it's supposed to be getting like another snowstorm coming in sometime this week, but as long as the weather is decent, I'll take a picture of
Okay.
everything that I got and I'll send it to you. So you kind of have at least have an idea, and not just you, but just for anybody. If you guys are in the Discord, I'll post that too. So at least you guys got an idea of what my setup looks like, and especially because I think that's the patio. No, that's I don't know what that is out there, but it's nice. It's nice. It probably needs to get updated, but it's nice. So I'll drop those pictures tomorrow when I get home from work, and so you guys can kind of look at it. I might end up doing that as a video. No, what? No, I'll do it as a. I can't do it as a video. I'm about to chop it up. Anyways, I'll do it as a picture. I'll take pictures and then I'll write the captions as far as what is what, and we'll go from there.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. Um, hey, Ender at
Hey,
the end. So will be across from Cleveland. That's dope.
nice, nice.
I mean, yeah, everybody, thanks so much for joining us. Sorry that Ender, you had to come in at the end. Unintended. He is the Ender of the stream.
I know. What an ender.
Yeah. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight. Thank you so much for being part of this community, for talking and engaging, hanging out with us, and even offline. I guess Discord's technically online, but talking, hanging out with us on the Discord offline from streaming, off of streaming. We will be back in 14 days on the 17th with another amazing, awesome topic. And as always, we look forward to seeing you all next 2 weeks. But if you want to see us next week, you can always chat with us in the Discord. We're happy to, of course, engage because we love you all.
Yes.
As we say all the time, if y'all weren't here, it would just be us three, and it would be fun. It would get kind of boring. I'm not gonna lie.
It's like monologues. It's like we'll be three people monologuing, hearing each other responding, which is fine, but
like a trialogue.
Yeah, a trialogue. Yeah. It's nice to have this live interaction and see the people who we see our community, right?
Yeah,
and y'all really are community. So thank you for the online, and then the real life people who like to pop in every now and then too. Gil, you're kind of like a hybrid. Gil, you're hybrid, deep fam. So it's always nice.
Yeah. Speaking of Gil, I hope your day gets better because he said that he was having like the worst day.
Yeah. Same. Yeah.
Definitely keep us posted about your day. Hopefully it gets better. Yeah. And if any of you, I hope we made y'all's days just a little bit better. Because you sure as hell make our days. You make our weeks. You make our months. You make our years. So, with that said, we love y'all, and we'll see y'all on the 17th.
Yes.
Good night, and chat with us in the Discord.
Yeah, have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.